Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our third episode of the Oriental Scoop. And this one is a bit philosophical,
Existential.
existential in its nature.
But that's not the reason why we have candles. We have candles because there's no electricity. Am I right, boys?
No. Okay, so the title for this episode is Creator or Created. And how are we going to start this off?
Like Da Vinci?
Da Vinci or Leonardo?
So, what we want to talk about today is something that many of you question when you're growing. I don't know how old you are, but I assume you reached this point.
Look, from the analytics of what I've seen of our videos till now, most
all
if
two
not-
of you are old enough.
all two of you are between the ages of 25 to 35. Okay, actually, the majority of our listeners are 25 to 35.
Okay.
Makes sense because we're only sending
What? My mom's in her 50s.
That's only 1% of our viewers, please.
Mom, you gotta fix your YouTube account.
She doesn't have an account, so she doesn't count, bro.
Mom, you still count even if you don't have an account.
All right, so this serious episode is gonna be about God, and we're gonna try to debate if God exists or not. I think, yeah.
We want to focus more on the journey that people go through when they question such things and the merit that it gives to people who do question, right? Because I think many people wonder if sometimes you always hear in life that okay, you're questioning, you shouldn't be even questioning.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it's the opposite, and I think we'll get to this soon. But what I want to say is people who have the most faith are the ones who question if they end up finding God.
All right. So the first question that we're gonna tackle is how do people actually come to their decision? So how do people decide if I'm an atheist, if I'm a theist, if I believe in God or not?
Monotheist or polytheist or what else is there? Wicca
That's
or vegan.
a legal theist.
Oligo.
'Cause
Not so many, just a few.
a few gods. Yeah. So people usually start questioning this, I think, logically in their teenage years. It's when
Yeah,
people
some people
become
earlier
more.
on or some people later on. Depends on how much access to information you have. Depends on what you go through life, I think. So most people come to this decision based on birth. So you're born into a family and you just assume the religion you were born in, right?
Yeah, and you're basically taught the way of the belief of every family that you're born into. So you're born into a Christian family, you're taught about Jesus and God. They're one and the same in this case. If you're born in a Muslim family, you're taught about God, Allah. If you're born in some other families, Jews also, they're taught about God in their own way. Or if you're brought up in some different part of the world, for example, in India, you have
You
a
could be
higher
Buddha,
chance.
you could be there's so much you can be.
Yeah, and there is a very small percentage of the population in the world where people are still polytheists, so they believe in multiple gods. Yeah, and it still applies there. So, as children, we take things as granted. Everything our parents tell us
It's
is
true, bro. It's
is
true.
is the complete truth. So everything our parents tell us when we're young is absolutely true. It's fact. Even if our parents are lying to us, we're prone to believe
I
them.
still believe that to this day, bro. My mom's always right.
Because
Love you, mom.
because they are the lens to life. They are the only window for facts in life, and that's how we get our information when we're young. And they usually tend to project their beliefs on their children, as they should. I think every parent has the right to
So can you have a belief where you think that you should question things? Is that a belief in of itself?
a belief that you can
You should
question.
find your own answers instead of just having.
Um, I don't think any belief would refrain people from truly seeking the truth and truly trying to find out the answers
You'd
to
be
things.
surprised. Sometimes it's actually it's contraindicated to question your belief system in certain religions or things like that, and even households as well, I'd say.
So, what do you mean by that? So you're not allowed to question um, the faith, or you're not allowed to question like very major pillars of the faith,
Yeah,
or
so I remember when growing up, sometimes when I would question something or ask, uh, I'd be scolded or just, shut up right now. Shut up, bro.
all right. So let me ask you this: is it is it really the religion's fault or God's fault that,
It's just the people's fault, bro.
or is it individuals' fault? Because it's the people that you're asking those questions to
Yeah.
that make you feel.
No, but actually, sometimes in certain belief systems, it says, do not question this.
So,
You shouldn't be questioning this.
for example,
I don't want to name names now.
hey, I ain't no snitch. So no examples.
No
That's a,
examples, guys.
that's a very bad argument.
Redacted. Statement redacted, guys.
I I personally think that there is nothing wrong with questioning things as long as you don't do it in a
As
very
long as you don't step the out of line.
yeah, if you don't
Don't step the out of line.
exactly. So if you're not asking the questions in a way that shows that you're not convinced anymore, um,
You gotta stay convinced or else.
yeah, you gotta stay convinced. Not everyone is open to dialogue. Not anyone is open to asking very very probing questions. So the question today is: does God exist or not? And if so, how do we know He exists?
We're not here to give you an answer.
Of course, we're not. We know just about as much as you. However, we have different beliefs, Mu'taz and I, and
No, we don't, bro. We
oh,
just have.
we don't. We're not allowed to question things.
We just have different, I think, ways of viewing things or like philosophies on
Okay,
it.
yeah.
But rather, I think our beliefs are somewhat similar.
So people, some I know there are two different types of people. The first type is people who are truth seekers, people who are very curious about these things, and people who actively try to find the answers to the questions that they can't um, find answers to at the moment. So I can recall a few examples when I was a teenager, and we were talking about God, and people would give like really valid points on why does God exist. They'd be like playing the devil's advocate. So they'd say, for example, why does God exist if evil exists? Why does God exist if inequality in this life exists? Or yeah, inequality and like pure evil towards, for example, innocent children, people who have not committed a sin against God or against people. So that would be one of the hardest questions to answer at that time, um, because to a certain extent it is true. Why would why would God punish these, for example, newborn children that die?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's a very common question that people had previously, and it's very difficult to find the answer if you haven't really gone through a journey of like finding answers. So the argument, I'm gonna read for you a quote from Epicurus. Is that how you pronounce his
That's
name?
where I get my quotes.
Epicurus.
Like, it's epic. You guys have to believe him. He has epic in his name.
He has a Greek name, so he's definitely right.
Right, bro.
So the quote says, "Is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then hence cometh evil. Or where does evil come from? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God?" And this poses the argument that if evil exists and God allows it to exist, then he is malevolent, and that's why I think people tend to stray away, uh, disbelieve in God.
Yeah, and I think people who experience trauma in their life tend to think that there cannot be a God there, but it actually goes both ways with that. Some people who experience trauma and want to
Cling.
find strength to something.
They want to
They
cling to
believe in,
something that
yeah.
may help them, and God and religion can be a form of waiting.
I think that explains why many of first world countries have less religion in them, right? Because if you're struggling and you're going through some war or something, you are more likely to believe in God.
True,
I'd say
true.
that. I think
And
that's a
if you
fair
don't
assumption.
have hardships in your life, then.
You're less likely to believe.
But at the same time, you also have the people who see, like, really, they go through really hard times in their life, and they just can't explain why all this bad stuff is happening. All they think about is, why is this happening to me? Is it fair? Is it fair for someone, for example, to lose his parents when he's young? And to me, I think the answer that I've uh, come to reach is that
Yes.
is
Okay.
the answer that I've reached personally is, at least I'm gonna give you my point of view as a Muslim. Um, this life isn't meant to be
Fair.
good and fair and perfect. I think this is what people describe as the afterlife. I mean, if you go to heaven, I hope everyone goes to heaven. Um, you find the perfect life over there. No one is suffering. There is no hunger. No more needs. Just constant pleasures, if you want. But this life is not about that. This life is a test, and part of this test is that we've been given free will by God. So, in order for free will to exist, you have to have the possibility of committing evil or committing disobedience to God, which is in itself evil. So, how can there be free will without how can there be evil without free will, and how can there be free will without evil?
Interesting point you make, and it reminds me of a quote. I don't know who said this. God helps those who help themselves. So it also stems back to, okay, is this destiny or fate? Who, what, what does what you matter do if it's all already predetermined, right? So
Okay, that's actually a very, very good point. So there's another argument that tells that usually people question is, if God already knows if you're gonna go to heaven or to hell, then what's the point, right?
true.
He's omnipotent. He knows the future. What's the point of having this life? Let's say having this test if he already knows you're gonna go to heaven or to hell. Now, the answer to this, from this perspective, is we've been created. God is the creator. He is the creator of himself, and part of his like name, Khalik, the creator. He creates things, and he created us for purely for his obedience. We're created for his obedience, and that comes from the Muslim perspective. Um, so if we're created to obey God, um, I think what happens is, or what happened before everyone came to being, like came on this earth, or sent down on this earth. um, they were given a choice, right? Every single soul that exists on earth was given a choice to go through this test and to be given free will, which is one of the hardest things in this universe to be given. I mean, any creature on this planet doesn't, I don't think they have free will except for human beings. They truly have free will. They truly have the ability to truly disobey God, like intentionally, with knowledge, to do something that was not ordained by God.
What about primates? I know that they can be evil.
I mean, they can do bad things, but that
Yeah.
goes, I think, back down to instincts. Um, so I don't think the same rules apply for to animals as they do for human beings. At the end of the day,
You know, some of these monkeys have clans together and they go to war. It's pretty crazy. And some of them cannibalize other monkeys.
have you seen the video of the, I think it was a chimp in India, or baboon, sorry, baboon, that trips the scalp
Yeah,
off
yeah,
of
of a
the
man.
of the
It
Indian
trips
man's
off
head.
a man's
Yeah,
scalp.
that's crazy. Animals can
So
be
tell
really
me, I'm pretty sure that monkey has free will.
maybe he deserves it.
Shit.
um, so since humans are very unique on this planet, And this can be very debatable. I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on that. Since we've been given this free will and we willingly decided to go down to earth to undergo this test, now we have to prove ourselves. You know, this is the point of life, to prove yourself. And if you with free will decide still to obey God and worship God, then I think your worship is much more valuable than
Yeah.
any creatures,
If you
any
sought the
angel.
truth and you found the truth and you found it in God, then in the eyes of God,
This is more
you would
valuable
be
than an angel that was created to solely do whatever God wants without having free will. So you on your own with your own free will decided without actually seeing God with your own
So what if you
eyes.
didn't find him though?
Well, isn't that part of the test?
Yo, never thought of that, bro.
No, really, isn't that part of the test? I mean, tests exist for
You didn't
people,
search hard enough.
or maybe the answers were just given because God always says that He is the most merciful and most what al-adil, like He's
The most just.
just. Yeah, He's the most just.
So what do you think of people who believe in God without having faith?
What do you mean by that?
So people who just believe in it to receive from it some purpose or some social help or just
So
being
do they,
part, having some structure in their lives when they go through some hardships.
so do they actually believe God exists, or
What do you mean by actually? They're gonna pray. They're gonna think, okay.
but deep
do
down?
How do you know? What's deep down? They just do everything that you
Like
do.
you know how you sit, you and yourself, you look at you look into the mirror and just you know the truth, you know like
You just do what makes you stronger. How about that? What if there are some people like that?
I mean,
They need it for strength, so they follow it even though they don't have real faith.
isn't that a type of worship? Like
Yeah,
depending on God,
yeah.
it's a type of worship. So why is it wrong?
And maybe there are more precious to God than the truth seekers because they do everything they need to do even when they feel that there is no God deep down.
But I think truth seeking is a way to find God, a way to get closer to God. Can you really know God if you don't actually seek Him out? Like seek who this Creator is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
The journey in of itself is amazing, and I think those that are closest to God are those that have seeked Him out, tried to answer every single question that they had about Him, no doubt in their
Shout out to my boy Harut.
our boy Harut, I'm gonna
The
call
best boy.
gonna call him Christian convert. Maybe we'll get him on our podcast someday. He's in the U.S. right now. He actually came to Lebanon as a non-believer, or maybe he believed in God but very weakly, like just in name, and then
And he did his own search and
he found himself.
he was a born again Christian, is that safe to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. So he became a Christian. He was already a Christian, but he became a Christian again in Lebanon, and many of these topics have been discussed with him.
And when I think of Harut, if I imagine any Messiah returning to earth, or I don't know, how do we say it? Like coming to earth, or were they here, or Messiahs? If the Messiah returns, and I believe Harut would be walking right next to him. He'd be the only man worthy of walking next to him.
Yeah,
I promise you, all these what do you call clergy?
Clergymen.
They'd be sitting at home drinking tea or something.
Speaking of that, I think many people decide not to believe in religion because they see these religious figures, sheikhs or priests or whatever, and they see them doing some pretty hypocritical stuff.
Especially here in the Middle East.
Not even in the Middle East. I mean, outside you see all these these stories about
Child
molestation and stuff,
and
I think
tax evasion and
I think these turn away a very large portion of the population. I mean, if you see the man who is supposed to represent the religion and the person who is supposed to be closest to God doing all sorts of ungodly things, then will you believe in God?
Yeah, this is the representation. This is the peak of religiosity. This is this sheikh who we have so many funny stories from Lebanon. One, just a quick story. One time there was a sheikh in a suburban area in Lebanon, who had a cafe, okay, and he had his tables and chairs on the public sidewalk. So the police came in. They told him you can't do this. They wanted to fine him, close down his store. And the sheikh comes in a fully tinted Jeep Cherokee, in a Jeep Cherokee, fully tinted, drives against a one-way street, parks, and pulls out an AK-47. Tells him, "Listen, I'm gonna shoot you." This is the sheikh. This is the peak religiosity. Yeah, he's so passionate about his cafe. He should become a barista. He shouldn't be a sheikh.
That's and that's besides all the cases of like people trying to get divorced and they can't go through the process in one way or another, so they actually just the sheikh upfront tells them, like, pay me $5,000, I'll clear it
There's
up.
so much corruption when it comes to the civil court of or religious civil court as well.
But let's get something out of the way and let's get something straight. I mean, religion is a tool, just like any
Like
other
just like
tool.
you, bro. Kidding.
You know what? I'm not gonna even censor anything this time. I'm just gonna keep it as it
Yo.
is. So religion is a tool. Politics is a tool. Anything that we can do in life is a tool basically. And what controls the tool is what is behind its purpose, behind its action. So it's people and their greed and their evil within themselves that are to blame and not the religion. So if someone tells me, religion is at fault, let's look at communism. The system that actually tried to abolish religion, wasn't it?
You know what communists are gonna say? They're gonna say it never worked. It was never real communism. Okay, so it's something that you can say as well. As when you say that religious people, the issue is with the people. You can just say because they're not true religion, like how the communists say these weren't true communist systems, right?
Yeah, well, I can say for the same thing for capitalism.
Okay, you can say it for everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can say it for everything because
it's a bad argument, bro.
Because it's all about the intentions of the people, and we are evil beings wherever you go in the world.
Speak for yourself.
No. Yeah, I think humans are very greedy and I think greed and what else?
Yeah.
Jealous.
Name me the seven sins, bro. Gluttonous. What else? My favorite.
It's all because of this.
You want to get some fried chicken later?
Pride, sure, just for
Yeah.
you, bro. Gluttony. So all these sins are what drive any system to failure.
Yeah.
Even let's talk about one of the worst systems that exist, the banking system, and how it uses interest to like put people in debt and such. I mean, if you had like really good-natured people, they wouldn't take advantage of each other. But then you have all these bad-natured people who are
But
just.
I think, to be fair, that's a very simple way to see it and see the monetary system. But that's coming from us, especially because of the situation, the crisis that happened here. You know what they did? No, well, that's a whole other episode for another time.
Yo, it's the crisis. Yo, it's the Beirut blast. Yo.
Beirut blast, bro. Lebanon crisis, hyperinflation.
Hashtag save Lebanon.
Hashtag.
Look, sorry guys, I'm just so sick and tired of hearing these
It's the
things.
same thing always. It's everyone should be saving Lebanon except for the Lebanese, right?
Okay, so we talked.
What's up with your candle, man? It's burning. Look at mine. What?
Yo, God loves me, bro. This is my spiritual energy.
Yo, at least my candle will last twice as long, though.
No. Okay, so we talked about like different things that people use to just justify
To build their belief system.
to build their belief system and do you think what I have previously discussed is enough to explain um, the disparities between people? So we said like um, life is a test. It's not supposed to be equal. Um, and what else?
Yeah, pretty much that. You reminded me of something that one of the village people I know, because I come from
A
a village
village.
far away, and you can imagine they're much more traditional there, and it's just not as educated, etc. So one thing one person said is that you will never find an atheist vegetable seller
Why?
because because it's what we said earlier, that the hardships make people more
Oh.
religious. So someone who's of lower, what they're basically saying is someone who is of lower class, or of someone who's below the poverty line, is more likely to believe in God. You won't find someone below the poverty line who, at least in Lebanon, I don't think it's as common. I don't have the statistics. Jamie, pull up the statistics. I don't have a Jamie here. I only
Look,
have a Ali.
I feel like a very large portion of the Lebanese population is living under the poverty line, which is like less than $1 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, less than $1 a day. That's around 40,000 Lebanese lira. I'm pretty
You
sure.
can buy
A manouche.
you can buy bread, and what else? What
Manouche.
Rif Khibz, 26 thou. What else?
That's you can buy two, one and a half.
Yeah, you can buy a big loaf of bread and a small one. That's what you can get.
Yeah, it is bad. Probably some labneh over a few days. Za'atar.
That's
Fine.
if you have a fridge. Sorry guys, no fridge, your Lebanon is gonna go bad. Lebanon is like whatever. Just Google Lebanon.
It's like a dairy product.
Yeah,
it's like
it's,
yogurt, but
thick yogurt.
yeah, thick yogurt. Sure. Um, I wanted to also give this different philosophical explanation to God of how to reach why God exists. Because there's this idea in Greek philosophy. I think this is either Plato.
Let me
or,
guess. Not Epicurus, bro. I love
No,
Epicurus.
not Epicurus. It's either Plato or Aristotle. And I think it's Plato. And Plato believed in the idea of like of the receptacle. I think what it's called. So let me give you the idea. So let's say the concept of a chair. Okay.
Oh, the perfect idea of something.
Yeah. So we think of chair, but there are so many forms, so many different ways a chair
But
can
there
exist.
is a form of a perfect chair in each of our heads.
Yeah,
Something like
So
that.
you look at, for example, the chairs that we are sitting on. They're red, and they have like four. Or
They
three
got some
legs.
curves to them.
Yeah, they got some curves to them. They're curvy.
Curves.
But there are so many different forms of chairs. There are benches. There are stools. They're all like different forms of chairs, and you know that you're supposed to sit on all of them. So by that logic, you have like an idea somewhere out there existed of a perfect chair. And all these chairs that we're using in real life and we're sitting on are just variations, imperfect variations of the perfect chair out there. Okay? So this is for chairs, and there's one for tables, and there's one for
And there's one for friends.
and lovers.
Yo.
Yeah, so there is infinite variations of infinite different things. And if we, let's say, wanted to think of the origin, the idea, the perfect idea of all the perfect ideas, then I think this might be God, like the origin of all origins, right?
Yeah.
We're going sequentially up and up and up. The same concept applies if you keep asking the question why for anything. So let's try it. So let's say
The thing is,
I'm
no
feeling.
one, but when it comes to that, no one owes you an answer. So one thing that I read once, I don't know who said this, maybe I don't remember who, but someone said some quote about how God is the ever shrinking bubble of ignorance, right? So is God when you can no longer answer the why? And have we been able to improve our ability to answer the why question eventually? Is it by time, as we improve in our philosophy and our physics, can we answer more of these why questions? And when will we stop answering these why questions? And does anyone owe you an answer? And is the absence of an answer an indication of God's existence? These are all questions that arise when someone mentions such a thing.
So the absence of an answer, I think, in a way, does kind of prove God exists, because at the end of the day, can you fully understand God? Never. The infinite origin.
Yeah, but when you want to prove something, the burden of evidence needs to be on you, and that's where the belief in God comes. There needs to be a leap of faith. You need to have a leap of faith to believe in God, and some people experience it, and it's totally fine for you to experience something in your life that makes you believe in
Um,
God, right? It's people that happens, and of course, God can be revealed to people in different ways.
the nice thing about what you said is, uh,
Is that I have the perfect. You're gonna tell me I have the perfect comeback for what you said.
no, no, they're actually really good questions.
But
However,
these are not necessarily my views,
go,
guys. Disclaimer.
yeah, God, God uh, in the Quran always says that look around you and you'll find proof of me. So basically, how the world works and how intricate it is within itself the proof of God's existence, because nothing of this complicated uh, level can exist without an orchestrator, a maestro, for example,
Yeah.
let's say. And part of the complexities of life is because life couldn't exist without God. And we should always try to attempt as much as possible to find the answers that we're looking for. But the thing is, I don't think we're ever going to be able to find the answers
Exactly.
to what we're looking for.
Maybe not now. Maybe in a
But
couple of
maybe
thousand years.
but maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
The point is, you can't find the answer to this, because God is beyond your understanding.
So what do you do then? Do you shy away? Do you stop thinking about it, or do you go into existential doom every time the subject arises?
Um,
Or do you believe in God?
Part of believing in God is believing that you cannot understand everything. We are limited beings.
Yeah.
We are flawed in our nature. We're not perfect in our
Yeah,
thinking.
it's like you've been given the tools to you've been given the tools to, let's say, scuba dive. Let's make it. Yeah, can you run? Can you jog in scuba diving equipment? Can you climb? No, you can't.
Can you breathe without your scuba diving equipment? No,
Yeah,
you can't.
exactly. So
And there's a limit to how deep you can go, how deep you can dive.
yeah, so
You know something is out there. You know something is still lingers beyond what you can see, or beyond where you can venture, but you cannot go there. You're limited.
yeah.
So I think that is the point. Maybe if we're proven wrong in the future, then this can be
Not in
in our lifetimes at least.
imagine the aliens from 2000 years ahead pulling up our damn man. Let's check some pathetic YouTube videos with the least views, and they open up our video. Man, look at these losers. Truly ignorant losers.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of believing in God.
Yeah, so what are the bennies, the good benefits? Well, I think you have a system to follow, right? Especially more so in certain religions. There's a structure set for you to follow. You don't have to worry much. You don't have to find your own way. There's a way set for you. You don't have to think too hard about it. You just follow it. And you have your community. People need community, so of course that comes with religion. And it's a major source of strength when it comes to hardships. So whatever you struggled through, be it some a loved
Yo,
one's
my
passing.
candle's going crazy. I'm
It doesn't
sorry.
like what I'm saying. I should. So
Yeah.
be it the passing of a loved one. Some things are really tough to overcome. Some losses are really irreplaceable, And I think religion helps in that aspect to understand that, okay, these people are maybe at a better place and someday you're going to join them as well.
So it
And
helps you during times of
tough times,
hardships.
tough times. And it also
Hardships.
helps you in good times, right?
Yeah.
Keep the good times
S-
coming.
So you have something to believe in and someone to count on, even when you're at your lowest, and that's at least to prevent maybe things like depression,
Yeah. But you'll be
anxiety.
you might overall have less fun in life.
Less fun, yeah. Because there are rules that exist.
Of
I
course.
think I think religion also gives, as you said, structure to your life in a way that I think the majority of stuff that aren't allowed in religion are for your own good, and that touches on, if let's say, in some religions, like don't
Yeah.
lie, don't steal from others, don't be too prideful. And any person, even an atheist, would agree that these are good lessons to learn and good lessons to follow in life. There
Yeah.
is there is a
And of
point.
course, someone's gonna mention, "Oh my God, but it's bad if you follow this law and this religion that says that you should do this to someone if they do whatever." Okay, so that's the counter argument for it.
So what you're saying is, in religion doesn't always have like good.
Yeah, sometimes, and I guess then that brings us into whole other topic of
I mean,
cherry picking.
yeah, I mean that depends on the religion, and you have to go back and ask yourself why these things exist in every single religion. Um, there are many explanations, but we can't go through all of them right now and today. However, I do understand this sentiment very well.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to tell you these. Just a disclaimer: we're not telling you exactly about our views. We just want to tell you what we have understood to be the different views that are currently present.
Yeah. And also, religion gives not only structure to your own life, telling you how to live your life in a certain way. It also gives structure for societal life in general. Um, just the simple stuff like how kids are born, like what you do with kids when they come of a certain age. For example, awal irbani. I don't know what it's called in English.
I don't even know what that means.
Baptism.
Oh,
No, no, not baptism. There's this thing that they do at like
uh,
6 years old.
yeah, first communion or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. In Islam, you have like fasting and how we break our fasts with our families, or how we spend Eid together, how the Christians spend Christmas together. And society is built on these things. Like everyone takes days off, the holiday. It's a way to bind society together, and I think as we start seeing the degradation of these traditional um, structures of life, um, we see that it is not very beneficial, because we're in a stage of anomie. I think it's called when
Anomy.
yeah, we're losing values,
Yeah,
and
just losing purpose. And
purpose
there's.
and values, and we don't have like replacements
Mhm.
for these. Maybe some people become like activists,
Yeah.
I don't know, vegetarians.
Mhm.
Like everyone's trying to find their purpose in order to replace the religion that they've lost, but I don't know.
So I think that we've went through what we wanted to say, and
Let me check the list first. I'm sorry.
guys, we have a list for you.
uh, so you agreed. Oh, okay. One more thing. So destiny/fate versus free will. So when do we draw the line? Yeah, that's a that's a very big question. I'm sorry, bro.
Who's destiny, bro?
Yo, I apologize. My bro's in the mood.
Anything free, give it to me.
Must be
Free
the-
will, bro. It's free.
Must
give
be-
me, give me
Must
more
be
will.
these unscented candles.
Look at this candle, man. It's almost gone. So yeah, I think this is a topic we can talk about destiny versus free will for days, and
Yeah, maybe we can talk
Yo.
about it on another time.
and what I want to end this by saying is, doesn't matter what you believe in, okay? When you want to find purpose in life, be it religion, and for those people who who have not found religion or feel like they do not have purpose or feel anomy, as he said. What you should know is that you are here, you're breathing, you're alive, and you're experiencing many things. Okay, they could be bad or they could be good. They could be mostly bad as well. But I'm sure that you have some good moments too. And in case you feel that you have no purpose, you should make your own purpose. Okay, you have been given the chance to be here, given the chance to be alive, to have conscience and conscious. You're conscious. Okay, so take advantage of that and make your own purpose.
Now, I'll give my very biased opinion and very biased message at the end of this podcast and tell people who are facing this problem that um, I know maybe people haven't given you the right answers to why, for example, God exists or how God exists and stuff. Find someone who is objective and non-judgmental when you're actually trying to seek these answers. Because I know a lot of people don't really accept people who have maybe not lived the ideal life, the religious life, or life according to God. And I think there's always time. There's always time. It's never too late to start soul searching for the meaning of life and if God exists or not. It maybe this video is your sign to start searching, to start soul searching. Even if your answer is no, at least try to delve deep
Even
into
if
it.
your answer is no, find your purpose.
Yeah,
Okay,
fine.
you should find a purpose. Without a purpose, you are nothing. Find the purpose.
You heard it here, folks. You are all nothing. All right. It was really nice. Not seeing you guys. Like they're really nice.
He refuses to compliment me. It was really nice talking to you, bro.
Filming this episode for you guys and girls out there. I hope to see you next week.
I hope to see all two of you here.
Oh.
Mom, I know you're out there.
The other person is my mother. God bless you, mother.
Yo, true.
All right. See you guys in
Peace
the next
out.
episode. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but
Hopefully better than this one.
perhaps something a little bit less philosophical. So peace.
Bye.